Hi, I'm Euge Valovirta, and on this one I'm going to compare 4 guitar cabinet mics. Of course you can use those mics on many other sources, like it has been done during the years, but these are also very good and probably the most used, I think, or at least 4 the most used microphones to mic a guitar cabinet. So what do we have? Shure SM57, Royer 121, Sennheiser MD421 and Sennheiser e906. What you just heard was a 57. The signal chain. This is a one of my signature ESP's nicknamed stickers, and this is in drop C. Let me actually check. Yeah, this is in drop C tuning with EMG 81, 85 pickups, a DR 10 to 56 tight fit strings, Bass SD1, Mesa Boogie Dual Rectifier, the 3-channel version from early 2000s, channel 3 modern mode, into oversized Mesa Boogie cabinet from 1994 with V30s. Alright, and you know, I just want to do this because I don't know if there's that much videos, or maybe there is. I have watched a few, and to be honest, the sound quality, there was a room for improvement. So when I watched them, I was like, anyways, yeah, so I'm just gonna show you how these sounds on the same cabinet, same speaker, where the e906 is on a different speaker because I couldn't fit it in. It's on the you know, it's a Mesa oversized, the top speaker slanted, but they are pretty much identical, those two speakers. So all of the mics except the Royer 121 is set at the edge of the dust cap, which is kind of my go-to place. You just put it there, tweak it a little bit where you get the good balance of enough highs, of enough warmth, whatever. The Royer is set straight to the dust cap, to the, you know, nipple yard. So that's how it is. Okay, I'm gonna play this same riff you just heard. Let's start with a 57. I'll go through the microphones, check from the screens. There is labeled 57 121 4906. There's no EQ, the EQ is bypassed, nothing is going on. This is usually my general. I like to kind of take a little bit off of 4K when I'm going in. And all of the mics are going into Warm Audio's WA273 British microphone preamp, which is a Neve. And I have there a low cut at 50 Hz just to remove the, and I feel that on the Neve, it kind of, because Neve, you know, when you do a cut, it adds a bump in there. I'm not sure, I feel like it's the same in here. But anyway, when you have the low cut at 50, or at least when I have it, I feel like there's more, I feel the low end more, because there's good low end. All the really low mud is taken away. So those are the settings. Low cut or high pass at 50 Hz on the mic pre's, no other EQ. 57 first. As you heard, the Royer 121 is vastly different than anything else. It's a ribbon, the other mics are dynamic mics. So 57, what do we hear? Nice kind of upper mid presence. MD421. A bit low end, and the kind of the upper mid hump is on a little bit different place. E906. More mids than the other two, and probably a little bit, at least less low end than on, or it picks up less low end than the MD421. Let's compare the 906 and 57, because they're kind of around the same ballpark. So it's a bit kind of softer on the top. Obviously, if I would move the 906 closer to the center, I would get more top end. But like I said, this isn't, you know, apples to apples maybe. But I just put them in the place where I feel each of these mics sound the best the way I use them. So 906 is smoother. 906 is actually a microphone I've used a lot on when I've done recordings, productions on lead guitars, because it's kind of like 57 but a bit smoother, so I feel it works really well on leads, and it doesn't have it has more mids, so it's more singing like. Compared to 57. Sometimes the 57 body is just what you need, but this is kind of, you know, 4 different mics. I'm getting 4 different sounds from the same cabinet. And then the Royer, this is a microphone that I usually pair with all of these others, just to blend in, to add the kind of the sound, how the cabinet sounds when you're standing in front of it. This, I mean, it's dead center, but it's still, it's pretty much flat. It picks up everything from 20 Hz to 20,000 Hz. Let me give you an example. Let's use a 57, and then I'm blending in the Royer when I feel like that it complements the 57. It adds weight, kind of tames a little bit of that upper mid at the same time. Obviously it's now louder since there's 2 microphones, but you'll hear, so it adds this weight, kind of smoothens it out. And this, you know, this is like incoming signal, because I have these, you know, Pro Tools Carbon, the DSP mode enabled, so it's showing me the input signal. So the input signal is pretty much equal on all microphones. Okay, then let me show you what happens when I blend in the 421, which is another combination that I use a lot. Okay, let's put the 121 to minus 1.9. That's kind of usually around there, minus 9, minus 10, where it is. And let me compare these two pairs, 57 421 and 57 121. So the 121, it's a little bit more, and it's a little bit smoother sound. With 421, there is more low end added because 421 has more lows. It picks up more lows than 57, but it also has that kind of upper mid hump on a little bit different frequency than on that 57 has. So it's a great combination. And then another cool combination is, well, the E906 is kind of like 57 but smoother. So let's blend in the 421 with the 906. Quack, 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 more mids compared to 421 and 57. So the 421 has this nice, the 906 has this kind of singing mid-range, and then obviously I can blend in the Royer with the 906. And it's really important that when you mic the cabinets that you have phase aligned them. So let's see, 57 421, they are quite close with each other, and if I flip the phase on another, they should pretty much cancel, and we should be left only with the difference in the upper mid. Yeah, so now 57 421, we are left with the upper mid. That's the difference between those mics and the upper, because I have phase aligned them, really honed them in. And then let's check out the phase alignment between the 121 and 421. There's bigger differences, they are so different microphones. Same thing with 57 121. And let's do the same with 57 and 906. They're pretty close, there's only like... Cool. So, conclusion. One cabinet, Celestion V30, 4 different microphones, 4 different sounds. Because as you probably know, or if you don't know, now you know that if we take out of the player and the guitar, out of the equation, this is where it starts, because if somebody else would play with this setup, it wouldn't sound like that, because it's here. Let's take me out, the guitar out. We have left amplifier, cabinet, speaker, microphones, mic pre. What makes the most difference? It's the speaker. Then it's kind of the amp or the microphones, and like speaker and cabinet, and then mic pre also makes a little bit difference. Neve mic pre, the microphones will sound a little bit different than on an API or on completely transparent mic preamp. I really like the Neve 1073. preamp, or in this case warm audio, which is pretty much exactly the same. So that's good to remember what microphones you use and where you place them. Now I had the microphones pretty much on the same place, to the edge of the dust cap, except the Royer dead center. There was still quite a big difference in sound. Now you know how they sound in this context with the Boogie cabinet, with me playing, you know, some drop tuned, you know, rock metal riffing. Thanks for watching. Until next time, take care. Bye.